Welcome to Creative Verse, your home of innovation, creation, and inspiration. So earlier in the video, we were able to set up our pages. Okay, page 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's going to be mimicking this. Okay, more like this is going to be the front page, the inside spread, and outside. All the resources you need for this course, it's somewhere. It's in a downloadable link. I think that should be in the comment section, or if you can't find it, you can email me at creativeverse@gmail.com and I'll get it across to you. So we have all the assets we use for this course, the Illustrator files, the Photoshop files, and so on and so forth. So be sure to check them out so that you could follow along. So let's continue. So these are the 4 pages that we created, and to continue, I'm going to be making reference to this time to time, okay, so that we can understand this in perspective. Okay, so when you see this, we are having some things going on in the background. We have the logo, this lady, we have the main background and stuff like that. So the first thing I will do is I'm going to be using frames first to lay out my work. So as I've said before, InDesign is a layout program. So what you do is you design stuff from Photoshop, Illustrator, and bring them up to InDesign and layout them. Of course, we have some tools here that you can use for your design. It's just that not everything you will need here, because of course this software is connected to your Photoshop and Illustrator, and that's why if you look at our files here, you will discover that I have a lot of Photoshop files and I have some Illustrator files and then images. So we're going to be looking at this. First of all, we have the main background. Okay, we have the main background over there. So the first thing I will do is to draw, let's say, frames. So before I start, what are frames? Frames can be seen as containers. I'm giving an example. If I draw, let's say, frame like so, I could hit my Ctrl D or go to File and find my place there. Okay, but I could just hit my Ctrl D, and then brings me here. I bring something up, and it's in that container there. So what we're trying to do here is to draw different containers that is going to contain different objects in this window. So back to our software. I'll get this off, get this to off. So we have this, and we to have the main layer in the background there, more like the frame that will be at the background there. So I'll come here, I'll draw a frame. Let's make sure this fills the space. Okay, I'll draw a frame like so. So I have a frame. So the next thing I'll do is I have where this logo will be kept, right? Innovate multimedia. So the next thing is this lady, right? So I'll click that, and it's going to be quite big. Draw it down. Just keep this into place, and then these write-ups. So I'm thinking I'm going to do one here, and then one here. Okay, then this. So let's say we'll have one here, maybe another one here. Then I think I have something here. Okay, I have something here too. So I'll just draw that in place. So hit this, and I will just draw it like so. So here. So this might sound like I'm just playing around with some kind of shapes I don't understand. So let's see how that works. So I believe you already have everything here. So when you go to your Photoshop files, if you observe, I have some things I've labeled here. If I double click this, for instance, as you can see, this background was designed in Photoshop. If you click here, because everything going on here that busy. So I'm going to import this straight up to InDesign. So I'll just click my background, hit my Ctrl D, I'll find where it is. I labeled it P1 background. Why I use P1 background is this is page 1 background, so I'll just load it in and boom, you have that there. So the good part of this is I can, you know, draw something here. Let's say draw a shape here for instance. Okay, give it color. I'm just giving an example. I hit Ctrl S, sorry. I can go to my InDesign, and this icon means there's an update in the original file. So when I double click that, this update here. So whatever I'm doing in Photoshop, also same with Illustrator, whatever I'm doing from those softwares will be updating in real time in Adobe InDesign. So I'm going to just undo this, okay, and hit Ctrl S, and I'm back. I'll see the sign, I'll double click, and then it's updated. So I have my background there. So I'll be referencing this time to time. Next thing I will do is to bring this in, which is the logo. So I'll hit here, click this Ctrl D, bring in my logo. I think it's an Illustrator file, so I'll come to my Illustrator. It should be page 1 logo. Open that up. Okay, I think it's too small. Okay, yeah, this is where we're going to do some, you know, editings. Yeah. So what we'll do is that, okay, I'm using spacebar and dragging with my left mouse button to pan, then Alt and middle mouse button scroll to zoom in and out. So yeah, now when you have something like this, when you double click, if you observe, watch this. When I click this, this is highlighting the size of the frame. The frame is more like, in Photoshop we call it clip masking, right? It's clip mask object in quotes. But inside, when you double click, we're now having a big, you know, shape. This shape, I think the color is light brown. Right, this here, it's when I click the frame is blue. The borderline of the frame is blue. When I double click, I'm having something like brown. So we just hold my shift and Alt and resize that into perspective, like so. Okay, I think I might be able to work with this. I don't know. So of course the background is transparent. So the way this works, okay, I need my control panel. So I think that should be in my view or Windows likely. Okay, control. Yeah. So the way this works is that, okay, this is a frame. I can bring in a color into the frame, so I can just, you know, observe, click here, come to this place and hit this, and then I have that there. Of course, this is quite big, so I might just have to reduce a bit. Now I am reducing the frame, and I have to do the same thing to the shape inside, like so, and of course a bit smaller, maybe a bit smaller, and I have this there. So that is the idea. So the next thing is to bring in what I have here. Of course, I'm going to touch all of this later on, but just flow with me. Let's lay out what we have on the first page before we begin to talk about other things. So next thing I will do is to click this button and bring in this animal here. Okay, so I'll come back, click it, Ctrl D. I'll find where it is. That should be in my Photoshop file. That should be P1 cow, I think so. I'll open that there. Okay, as usual, double click, you know, make it smaller. Okay, at this point I might have to click the frame and make it bigger. Hope you understand how it works, right? So then double click this and shift this into perspective. Maybe just make it make this quite big. so that we just show everything. So time to time, all you need to do is to hit Shift W, and you see everything in real time. Okay, so that's how that works. So I could just move on. Of course, I will edit everything again. So let's just keep moving on step by step. I'll click this, hit my Ctrl D. This is my house. I'll bring that in. Okay, double click and of course make it smaller. If I need, click and make this bigger, depending on what I want. Okay, so the next thing is to bring in my bike here, Ctrl D. That should be a bike, motorbike, open. Am I correct with that bike? Okay. Let's see. Okay, yeah. It was so big. Now you're talking. Okay, so I might have to make the frame bigger. Maybe make this one too bigger. So next thing is I'll bring in the lady. The lady is the main character, so let's see. Ctrl D. The lady, I think the lady should be P1 subject, that is page 1 subject, open. Okay. So I'll just have to double click this, or so many things are coming to my mind now, but let's keep it simple. Here, like so. I'll bring that up. Good. So I think based on this, I will click this and bring this down like this. This will have to be smaller. Come again. Double click instead and just resize the house. So when you see that brown border, it means you are resizing the object, and when it's blue, you're resizing the frame itself. Okay, so I think this should do. Then this, I think I have to shape this up a bit, like so. Then probably double click and move this up a bit, maybe here. I'll move this to the side, move her to this side. Probably the frame should be what I would have moved. Yeah. Then make this a bit, okay? Make it a bit smaller. Then I think, so let's hit Shift W and let's preview. Okay, this is what we have. So you can see the image is coming back to life little by little. Shift W and here. So I think for her, I will make this frame kind of big enough. Shift W. Okay, let's push this upward a bit. Okay. All right. So presently, this is what we have. So let's continue. Back to our guide. For this design, I use basically Belly Sans, Roboto, and Myriad Pro. All of them are sans serif fonts. So let's dive straight into it. And looking at our guide, the next thing is get skill to become a multimedia professional with Innovate 8 multimedia program. So, sorry, all I need to do is I'll copy this. All right, copy it and come here. I might not need this. Basically, I might. Let's see. Ctrl V. Okay, I have that there. So the first thing I'm going to do is, alright, so for this I'm going to use Myriad Pro, not Minion Pro. So I'll change this to Myriad Pro. Okay, I will highlight this first. I will choose Myriad Pro. Okay, I will give this size of 26. Let's see how that looks. Okay, enter. All right. Okay, and then I will use 22. Maybe here -45. And let's say here we use -3. Enter. So what I'm doing, this is my size, this is my leading, okay, then my tracking, and finally my baseline shift. Okay, then I would centralize. So next thing I would do is I'll pick the color, this brown color here, copy it, of course, then come here and paste it there, Ctrl V. So let's see what we have now. Okay, so this is what we have. The next thing is I'm going to add an outer glow. So to do that, I will come to my properties panel, which is here. Okay, so what you do is that you don't need to select, just click it, then you will say this. Okay, take note, don't select it like before. If you select that, you will not see your FX there. So I'll just click it and you will see FX, click that, come down to outer glow. Okay, in our outer glow, I will use darken for this because I want it to show dark. I will use black. Okay, I will use precise. I'll need a noise, maybe 5%. Spread, let's give it 30 for now. I want the size to be like let's say 8. Let's say it will look. Okay, so this is what we have now. Okay, I think Shift W. Okay, that's what I'm having. So let's take it off from here. We can always come back to edit. Alright, the next thing is, as you can see, it's white, so we could just come here and edit this, give it white. I can do that from here if I want. Give it white and yeah, I'm good to go. So what's next? We're going to bring this up here, Innovate Multimedia Mastery course. Okay, I think we should have that somewhere here. Innovate Multimedia Mastery course. Copy that. Come here. Let's check. Okay, come here. We'll double click this. Or probably we might have to withdraw it ourselves. All right. So here we use let me say 20. Okay. Here, I think this is leading. I don't think I need leading here. So I'll use 20 and let's see how that works. Then I'll come here. Just in case, you know, normally I'll come here, copy this and bring it over here, double click, you know, and Ctrl V and so on and so forth. So what you could do, you just right click and add to swatches. When you add to swatches, you should be seeing that somewhere here. Okay, so next time, since I'm going to be reusing this many times, I will just click and come there. It's already there. Of course, I'll be using Myriad Pro Bold for consistency's sake. Myriad Pro Bold, and hit that. I might want to add, you know, bit of this. Is it 25 or 50? They're about 50. Okay, so of course this is what I'm having now. Bring to media there. So we have get skill to become a multimedia professional with Innovate 8 Multimedia. So let's move on to the next thing. What we'll be having next is this: seize the opportunity for a future, enroll now. So first thing first, I will click this. I'll give the frame color, which is going to be this. I think this and this are the same. Let's just be more intentional there. Okay, so we have this. I think I will drag this to hit the border, so that's okay. Bring it down a bit. All right, so next thing is to bring in the write-up. Or come here. Okay, this is it. Seize opportunity and run now. Ctrl C. Come here. Hit my text. Click that. Ctrl V. Ctrl A. Okay, let's move on. Okay, for this one, I might just use something different. Let's just spice it up a bit. Let's use Roboto here. Let's just use Roboto bold. I'll peg this at 18, maybe no 20. All right, so what we will do, I'll centralize this. Okay, then check it. Click the frame. I'll bring this down. Observe this carefully. I'll bring this down like so. So this is what I'm having. Okay, there's a problem here. Okay, this is big. This is not complete. Sorry, that was a mistake on my part. So to correct this, I think I'll just drag this out a bit. I'll drag this out like this, then bring it into perspective. I think. Okay. All right. Okay, so I think at this point I'm almost done. So let me just rearrange everything for perspective's sake. I'll come up here. I think I'll like this to be a bit big. You know, there should be breathing room. And drag this down like so. I want this lady to go up a bit. This up a bit. This to the side. This. I would love this to go up a bit like this, and maybe bigger, like 25. Let's see how that would look like. Let's see. Okay. Okay. What I'll do to this is let's see what works for us. 436. Let's use this. Of course we have to reduce that a bit. Let's see. That's 14. Nope, that is too small. Okay, it's like 24. I think the 30 is okay. Let's see what we've got us from. Okay, so this is what we are having now. I'm still not okay with some things here. Let's say I don't need this 0. Okay, 25. Okay, I think we can stick with this probably. I don't mind even going that deep if we have something. Okay, black. Let's see. Okay. Good. I think I like this. I'm doing this because of hierarchy's sake. In a design, there should be hierarchy. I think this is the major write-up get skill to becoming multimedia professional. Okay, so that should fly for us there. I think I'm okay with this write-up. For this one, I think I'm okay too. So click this, and maybe this. If I want, I would hit that button. And so to start, so all I will do is just drag this, type 3D animation. Okay, or I think uppercase would be best. 3D animation. Okay, click that. Okay, I will use maybe 24. For this I will use Berlin sounds. Second place. Okay, so we use either this or depending. Okay, let's see how this will look. Okay, let's try something now. Let's say Berlin sound. Okay, FB Demi. Okay, we are good. Maybe we should just push this to something like 30. Sorry, 30. 32. Let's see how this will fly. Okay, so what we'll do next is I'll take this, of course, and you can just double click this. Okay, let me do that again. Once you double click here, it just snaps. So I'll keep this somewhere here. Let's check the 3D animation. So let's keep it somewhere here. So how we want this to be is that there will be no color. We're going to use a stroke, white stroke. Okay, something's happening there. Let me check. Let me undo this. I have to go into the test. Ctrl A. Sorry. Ctrl A. I will not use any fill. I'll give it a stroke of white. Let me see how this will look. Let's see. Let me push this to like 34. Sorry. Yeah. Let me push this to 1.5. 1.5. Push it to 34. I think it's too small, so I'll click and drag out like so, then drag this out too. Sorry, give me a second. So something's happening here. This can move this way. Yeah, double click this and double click this. You gotta be careful. So 3D animation. Okay, so I'll 3D animation. I'll duplicate this here, and I'll duplicate this here too. Okay, so we have 3D animation, we have graphics and multimedia, we have motion graphics. So graphics and multimedia will be here, so I might just have to drag this out a bit. Click this out. Okay, which we have in graphics and multimedia. Sorry, graphics, think up and multimedia. Okay, then just two. Sorry, drag this down a bit. Okay, that should be motion graphics. Okay, motion graphics. So for this, I will just click this, double click this, click this, double click this, put this in place. I think okay, click second place, click this here. I think I'm having an issue. What's happening? Okay, maybe I should right click this. I'll go to arrange and bring this to front so that okay, I would click and drag this down like so. Maybe keep it somewhere here. Keep it somewhere here. I would love to reduce this. Let's see how it looks. Shift W. Okay, now I know it's too big actually. It's too big actually. So I would reduce all of this to. I just leave it at the 31 we used earlier on. This two. 31. This two. 31. Yeah, I think this should give us something great. Okay, so Shift W. Okay, not bad at all. Maybe what we could do finally is to, as if we like, I think for just hierarchy's sake, let's just stick with 28. Okay, because as a designer, just anything you should make sure you pay attention to in your design is hierarchy. I think this will give us a great hierarchy set or level. So yeah, I think this should fly. I can bring this down a bit, like so. Bring this down to somewhere here. Maybe reduce just a bit. Okay. Nothing is here, I guess. So come in. Okay, maybe reduce this a bit. This can be here. So Shift W. So I think by this we are done with the first page. So next we are going to the second page to design what we have there. We're going to be designing this and this together. We're going to be designing this too. As I said, it's a layout program. So if you want to continue this course, see you in the next video. Okay, all right. Thank you. Bye.